Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. You are listening to the Lakers Fast Break Nightcap with Joe Soro. Welcome, everyone. I am going solo tonight because we have a very busy crowd in the background. And from what I heard, I'm hearing Gerald is taking I think it's a multiple guest test. There you go.
I'm in copyright school, Joe,
There you
because on
go. Yes.
Fridays, Fridays, playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break, during the Clippers game, someone left either their video or most likely audio of the game, and the NBA put a copyright strike on me. So I'm in YouTube copyright school answering questions right now like a 5-year-old.
Great.
Fun.
So Gerald will be essentially chiming in when we need to run a test to make sure that these guys apparently think that we're running some kind of audio scheme so people can listen to a monotoned dimwit audio of NBA basketball. That's how bad it's gotten. So we will Gerald will chime in while he's doing this quote unquote test, and in the meantime, we're gonna have some fun tonight, guys. I have it as the nightcap, and of course, I brought my honey jack tonight. I will be pouring myself a drink. I would suggest if you guys are, depending on any whatever part of the world you're in, I would suggest to open one up and have one with me because
Did
it's
I
going
mention
to.
the cartoon I'm watching now stars Russell and Lumpy? Joy.
I
Very
don't
much joy.
I don't know who Russell and Joy are.
Yes, YouTube. It's a YouTube created animated short that I have to watch.
They're making you watch their own programming.
On copyrights.
Are we in and out,
Fun.
Gerald? Seems like we're in and out. Not like Burger either. I'm gonna have to reload.
Hell right now, looks like. YouTube didn't like
Well,
me
they're
either
trying
there
to
either.
stop us from talking now too, right?
Yep,
Is that what's
it
going
is.
on? I think what the deal is anytime we go in and out like this, I think something wigs out.
Yeah, it looks like it. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead off stage. You have fun. I'll be listening in if you need anything. But yeah, I'm off to copyright school. I go.
Well, you
We.
guys, you guys were witness to this. I'm telling you guys, man, this technology stuff sometimes it gets very interesting. How when you start talking about something that's not, I guess, pertaining to things that matter, there seems to be a blockage somewhere from the man. We can't get away from the man ever. But it was kind of stupid that we had to deal with this because we're not trying to do anything. There's no discussions being discussed. Hey guys, what's going on here? Someone with some common sense that could see that we're obviously not trying to run some kind of pirating game thing. But anyways, we're gonna talk a little bit about it's been a, it's a rest day today, so that's why I think it's important to get ready to talk about the next game here for the Lakers. It's going to be against the New Orleans Pelicans. I know that's not a sexy game, but I am looking forward to any Laker game these days, and that is tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Uh, the Lakers right now are sitting in second place. They did get some help on their day off, where Memphis lost tonight on a pretty tragic, if you're looking at it from an observant standpoint, pretty tragic game. I think Desmond Bain had the ball and it was tied. Got the ball stolen from Trey Young. going on here, G? Am I okay? There we go. We're back together. Uh, so
I think because I'm playing a video on another tab, I think that was why. But it's over now. But
okay,
yeah,
good,
I'm going to deal with this copyright strike thing. So yeah, you should be good from here.
cool. Thank you. So, uh, so yeah, so we're the Lakers right now are winning on their day off. I mean, come on, guys. Have the Lakers stopped winning really since February 1? Salute to everybody, by the way. Thank you for being here tonight. And yes, Blue Magic. I got this a few days ago. I got this today. And I had actually bought this same shirt, but it was an extra large because where I bought it from only had extra large, and I figured maybe it was going to be one of those shirts that sat bigger, even though it was extra large. Yeah, that didn't happen. I'm a double X type of guy, and double X is what this is, and you can see it fits pretty well. So I had tried the locker room hat that the Dodgers wore after they won the World Series. I got to admit, man, the parade hat is just money. The only thing that I would have done different is I wouldn't have the adjustable in the back. I'm not a big adjustable guy. I like fitted hats, but it seems like all these championship hats have the old school adjustable ones. And nonetheless, it's a pretty hat. I really actually like wearing this hat when I can. And going back to the Lakers again, we're looking at something here in terms of what this thing can turn into in the end. There's been nothing but praise in LA. There's nothing but praise right now. Everybody's feeling pretty good about where the Lakers are and where they're headed. Of course, the second they go on a 2-game losing streak, you all know that's going to change, but that's okay. As of right now, let's try and enjoy what's going on. And what's going on right now is the Lakers are sitting in the second spot right now with a full game ahead of Denver and now 2 games ahead of Memphis and now 3 games ahead of Houston, whom also lost today. And what can you say other than let's just keep on rolling, baby? And the Lakers right now, if the playoffs were to start today, would play the Clippers. And I got to admit, guys, I would not mind. We've been waiting for a Clipper Laker series for a while. I think it would be fitting if there was some way they can get this series in the first round because travel would be 20 minutes away and it'd be nice to start the playoffs by dispatching the Clippers and whatever setup that they had thought they were going to get 5-6 years ago and actually put it to bed. Because right now it's looking like the Lakers are about to put it to bed. This is the second straight year where they won the season series, and before then they were pretty bad against the Clippers. I think they went on a decade-long ass whooping by the Clippers. The problem with the Clippers is they didn't do anything with it. They didn't win shit. They didn't even get to the finals in any of those years. So in the long run, no one really remembers regular season wins. There's some out there that do, but no one really remembers those series or those games. And right now, it's to make it worse for the Clippers. They have to watch Shai Gilgeous-Alexander continue to show that he is going to be probably an MVP at some point in his career. And that was a guy that was probably a Clipper for life if they had just not gotten into the Kawhi sweepstakes. But nonetheless, you are looking at the Clippers. I mean, the Clippers. It is what it is. So I might have a guest that shows up right now. Okay, cool. Let's see here. I'll answer some of your guys' questions here real quick. Where are we here? I gotta save a link. Let's see what I can get my guys out here real quick, guys. One moment. There we go. So you see the Dodger gear, and I know that we're talking Lakers, but we're probably going to talk a little Dodgers too and some other things because that's what we do here, right? And this month is going to be the beginning of another league's season, which is the LA Dodgers. and I've been watching all the spring training games. The only one I haven't watched was the split game, number 2 game, I guess, that didn't get televised. But the Dodgers right now aren't looking too bad. There's some guys that are just already in midseason form. I saw Shohei hit an opposite field home run. I saw Freddie do his thing and kill a ball. I saw Teo hit a home run. Um, I saw some good pitching by Glass now. I saw some good pitching by Goslin. So a lot of the guys that were injured last year are pitching pretty well. Dustin May had a little bit of a snafu, I think, in inning 2 a few games ago, but that was probably because Muncy had an error and created this whole setup where it probably should have been a double play. But that's baseball. Sometimes pitchers can't be blamed for everything. And but his I guess his flexibility and his ability to kind of extend without discomfort was pretty encouraging. So it's going to be a very, very fun season, and was not expecting the Lakers to be a part of this. So it's just unbelievable how much euphoria is around this right now, where the Lakers are making a run here. There's a lot of talk about them possibly competing for a title, and then you have the Dodgers that are going to start here in a few weeks in Tokyo before they actually start the real season in about a month. And you all know I'm going to be doing my own show here. So after I get back from Arizona this weekend, I was supposed to go last week, but I was trying to see if I could meet up with my guy, Jeff. Jeff, again, will be on here in a minute for a little bit. And we're trying to connect, and it's not 100% yet if he's going to be able to make it out. But if he does, we wanted to do a show out there at the Camelback. If not, I will for sure be there this weekend. So, Gerald, I think it was Juan. Was it Juan who wanted to see if I was here?
Yes, yeah, Juan. I think Juan Velasquez, if I'm not mistaken. But
yes,
yeah,
that's
Juan.
correct.
Last week, yeah, he was asking. You need to let him know when you're going out there.
Okay, perfect. So I'll meet some of you guys out there. I wasn't able to get Aaron, unfortunately. He's one of our chat room patrons. Sorry about that, Aaron. If you're listening, I know if you're not here right now, you're probably listening on the replay. But I do want to meet some people out there if we can, and I'm hoping that if Jeff can make it out there, we can do a show. I'll talk to him more about that here in a minute when he gets here. This is Dragon, absolutely. If you look at the 80s, which is a decade I was alive in, but the issue is I wasn't old enough. So from 1980 to 1989, I was going from age 2 to 11. I have a very, very, very vivid memory of the 88 year for the Dodgers. That was when I started getting invested in the Dodgers. 89 was my Steelers, and then 91 was the Lakers. That's when I remember being invested. I was fans of those teams, I'm sure, before then, but I don't remember. And TV was different then. It wasn't like it is now. You'd hoped, hey, Jeff, welcome. I was just telling everybody about the 80s and how that was kind of the decade where the Dodgers and the Lakers were kind of even, but I wasn't old enough to remember that too much. I remember 88. That was when I started being a Dodger fan and remembering stuff, and then kind of tailed into football and basketball. A year and 2 years after that. I put the gear on for you because I had a good feeling you'd show up tonight. So I just got this.
Oh, I got that. I got that shirt and hat.
So you know how long it took me to get this? It took me 2 months to get this. Now I have an extra large that I bought, that I found. Yeah, I don't fit in an extra large anymore.
Extra young.
Shit was tight. I was just like, I'm like, what the hell is this? Because sometimes these shirts would come in larger, but everything is made for department store mannequins now. I don't know what the hell happened. And then I was going back and forth on the locker room hat, the championship locker room hat.
Parade
hat blows it away. So I ended up putting this on. Welcome, man. How you doing?
I'm good. Just getting back in, man. Took Lucky out. You hit me on the text. Let me try to take Lucky for an abbreviated couple laps in the backyard and kind of negotiate with him to take him out after. But I'm here. I'm happy to be here, man.
Well, good to be. I'm glad you're here. Again, I know you're kind of playing tennis a little bit on what you might be able to do in AZ. I'm heading over there Thursday, and I was letting everybody know that there's a chance that if you did get out there, we can put something together over there. So we'll let everybody know how that turns out.
Yeah, I'm doing my best to make that happen.
Yeah.
I'm doing everything I can
Well,
to make
again,
it happen.
this is just the beginning. Again, I'm
Oh
gonna
yeah, yeah.
we're the channel when I get back from AZ next week. There's gonna be a setup for the channel, my channel, and the Dodgers Fast Pitch will be an integral part of the channel. Uh, Gerald's been dealing with a lot of copyright bullshit, which is only adding to the point on why this thing has to be strategically done. Otherwise, I would have done it a couple months ago. I don't know this world that much, but the fact that we got dinged on a fucking recording on one of our phones while we're watching playback, while God knows what we were
Oh
doing.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
So that's
like, I
yeah.
mean, at some point, it gets ridiculous with how these assholes do what they do. They can put a bunch of chicks on YouTube playing with their fucking tits, yet, you know, and it's okay.
But
But
it's not YouTube that's doing it. If it was audio, it's the NBA. So the NBA don't play with that stuff. They think you're repurposing content. So it's not even a person. It's their
It
AI.
was the NBA, Jeff. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
the
yeah.
NBA
So
that
it's NBA.
issued it through whatever small company that they go through that actually does all the legwork for them. But it was by the NBA. But they said I just read it because I got out of copyright school. Don't get me started. Um, which is basically watching a animated cartoon on copyrights. But they said that it's the entire video. So I'm trying to think of myself. This is our playback stuff, and all you see is the faces or
Yeah.
whatever profile pics and the score. So what
The
in
audio
there
bleeds
that we
over. Yeah. So if the audio bleeds over, like depending how their setup
not
is. So
not
it's why I
for
I
not
don't
for
use my phone for playback because I
yeah,
got
I mean I
dinged.
know, but not for 2.5 hours, Jeff. Not for 2.5 hours. That
Mm-mm.
was not bleeding over for 2.5 hours. So I honestly don't know what it
So
was.
what mine was whenever it happened, that yeah, that's all lucky pumping there. What happened was when I was doing my first couple of shows on playback, at the end of each episode, I would get a strike, right? I would get something, and I would look at it, I would just appeal it and then review it like you're good, and then it went away each time. I was like, there's no way I'm doing a show like I do my setups here, like that. It's impossible for the audio, even if I'm watching. I got something on the side right here. It will not bleed in, right? Because I'm through a mixer. But it was like it was someone else I was doing a show with. It was kind of weird. But I appealed it twice, and well, more than twice, and then it just stopped. And after that, I had no problems. But
Yeah, I've argued with successfully with Facebook before, but never had to deal with YouTube. But
that
I'll see
sucks.
what I can
So
do.
sorry,
so
Yeah,
sorry,
I
sorry what
gotta.
happened to you guys.
here's the problem with this, and this is what pisses me off. When I put my shit on mute on the phone, my audio goes out. Then I gotta get the fuck out and go back in every time. Like, fix your shit. Then I can put it on mute, assholes.
I've told you what that service is about. That service is the NBA. Playback is the NBA. It is. Go just for those who don't know, research what was it called? Watch Party. NBA.com Watch Party. Take a look at that. Take a look at that. That's exactly what playback is. It's Watch Party. Creators are there to sell League Pass. That's what playback is for. But I don't want to go too far on this. But that
Well,
is
it's good to know you got everybody knowing what's going on now. You have more people
But
that
yeah,
know.
but
The
you know,
key,
you got to sweat it out for 90 days, Joe. You got to sweat it out for 90 days unless you get, they're arguing it back in your favor. So you got to sweat out for 90
sweat,
days.
and,
Otherwise, we're
sweat,
going to be down for a week.
sweat on this.
and what I would recommend doing, I have a solution for that. So not put yourself into that situation again. I'll share it with you guys off the air. There's a
Nice.
solution to make sure that never happens again. And there's reasons why others stopped. Some of the bigger platforms stopped using it the way that the simulcast. Don't simulcast. I guess is the easiest way to say it without going into too much details. And I'll explain more later. But simulcast, you're asking for trouble. Do no fault of your own. Do no fault of your own. But they just will. Oh, they shine out lucky. That's what's up. Like,
did you put clothes on the dog?
yeah, he's got a
You're
shirt.
you're a clothes putting on the dog guy too,
Bro, he earns a paycheck. You know, he's a model, right? I'm nowhere close to kidding. You know, he pays rent. Like he makes money. You know what his shirt says? You know what his shirt says?
No,
His shirt says "Bitches love me."
come on.
Swear to God. I'll send you a picture tonight. His shirt says "Bitches
Oh
love me."
man! So you just got to go to the mall. You go to the mall. All the honeys are coming at him, right?
But you know who bought him that shirt?
Who?
My mom.
Oh
Mom's bought that shirt. Shout out to
man!
moms. Yeah, but the shirt
Oh
he's rocking the
wow!
shirt tonight that says "Bitches love me," and they do, and they do.
That's pretty good. I gotta admit, that's pretty good. I'm used to I'm used to good stuff like that, and it's when you make it like that, it's pretty
Yeah. He's got his own. He's got a full-fledged closet. Like when I'm gonna do a vlog where I just break down his wardrobe. Like he's in calendars, he's in magazines. Dude earns money. Can't knock the hustle, man.
So you just a family of hustlers.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It never ends.
No, that's
the hustle never ends.
That's thoroughly in the blood. Yeah.
So speaking of hustlers, how about it's been a minute since we talked, so we'll try to catch up a little bit here. I was watching some film because that's my life, right? That's how great my life is, watching
what kind
film.
Of film, Joe? What kind of?
Oh no, I don't watch that shit.
You're Home Alone a lot, Joe. What kind of film?
No, I don't want to catch a case down the road. All of a sudden, people watch my VPN. They're like, "Hey, what were you watching on December 12th, 2024?" No, it's more of really understanding the impact that LeBron and Luka have on a set and how much stress they put on an opposition and how it seeps into everything in a game. I noticed this I noticed it Friday, but then I really noticed it Sunday. You ever been in a situation, and this has happened a couple times in my life. It happened in playing racquetball, and it happened playing basketball. So playing racquetball against a really good tennis player. This was back in high school. And it was that one time where I played my ass off so much, I started thinking maybe I can get this guy. And of course I didn't. But what I learned was I was going like all the way. And I mean, I was fighting tooth and nail, right? The second time was playing against a 6'8". I'm 6'3", but 6'8" is a considerable advantage, right? I could not get anything under the basket against this guy. He was blocking everything I was throwing up. It didn't matter what footwork I did, the dream shake, fade away, didn't matter. He was fucking me
every time.
So then I started shooting threes and I started making some, but it was one of those humbling moments in my life where I'm like, man, no matter what the fuck I do, I can't beat this guy, right?
Yeah.
So I'm watching Friday, and we're watching Friday, and we're like, man, because we're so used to this. We're so used to this the last few years. We're watching them. Well, if it's a scheduled loss, it is what it is. Hey, they've been playing well, blah, blah, blah. And they go into that game, and I mean, they silently whooped their ass, right? Even though it wasn't like a 20-point blow up, but they never trailed. And then, of course, we wait a day and we're like, Clippers are going to be motivated and this, and that. You go on Sunday and it's pretty much the same thing. And not only that, Kawhi Leonard plays 40 minutes. When the hell did he play 40 minutes in the last couple of years, right?
Probably had his best game in the year, too.
They were trying to win, and they couldn't do anything. They couldn't, no matter how hard they tried, they could not do shit. And they ended up winning almost in the same way. If LeBron wasn't making some unforced turnovers in that third quarter, they probably would have blown him out on yesterday. So, but again, I'm not trying to, again, this is just kind of narrating what happened in the game. But what I saw a team that looked like, holy shit, there's nothing we can do. And it doesn't help that it's Luka, because Luka owns the Clippers more than he owns the Denver Nuggets or whoever. So your assessment on the mental fear that this team has now put on teams and how this is going to progress the rest of the year?
Well, to me, it's never a simple short answer with me, right? But it's a pretty simple reason. But I'm gonna
talk as long as you want. Now it's just you and I.
Yeah, but it's a pretty simple reason why. The Lakers had stars before when they played the Clippers. They had LeBron James, they had Anthony Davis, right? They won a championship with these two guys. They went out and thought they were getting a third star in Russell Westbrook. We saw how that blew up, right? What the Lakers have never had since 2020 is what they have right now. And that was the year ever since 2020. The Clippers kind of owned them after that. There was a stretch before that too. But 2020, the Lakers were able to beat them. Okay. And the reason why is since then, when the Clippers were basically dismantling them, the things that the Lakers did not have was defense. The thing the Lakers did not have was competent coaching. And the things the Lakers did not have is an additional perimeter killer when LeBron James' legs tire. They could wear him out. He was guarding Kawhi. He was having the ball in his hands. Now you have all these three things. And by the way, one of those guys is Luka fucking Doncic. All right. So you have these three things, and you now have, believe it or not, top tier role players. I mean, I don't care how you draw it up. When you look at the box score and you watch the game and you see what a Austin Reeves brings to this team, you see what a Dorian Finney-Smith brings to this team, you see what a Rui Hachimura does to this team. And I don't care what anyone says about Gabe Vincent. He competes. He adds something to the team. He could go out there and have a big donut in the offense part of the box score. He still impacts. He chases over tops of screens. He cuts out box out corner crashers. He does things that D'Lo would never do. If D'Lo didn't score, he gave you nothing. Gabe can play 20 minutes, score not a single point, and help you. Okay. Another thing, Joe, is you had a starting lineup with Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, and LeBron James that is part of the best defense in the NBA since January 15th. They are fourth overall since January 1st. All right. So that is not a sample size. That's 40 games. You know what I mean? I mean, that is a big chunk of games. And you got three guys who are known to not be able to defend. Right. And then you insert Luka into that lineup. Another guy that's not known to defend. You remove AD and replace him with Jackson Hayes. Okay. Now, if we're whiteboarding this, Joe, before this trade comes down, what would you assume? That your offense would go up and our defense would crash? It hasn't. It hasn't. It's gotten better. It's gotten better. And to get back to the original answer of your question is because guys have not only bought into their role, but they're exceeding in their roles. The team is prepared. The team's strategy. If you just watch, Joe, just go back. Anybody go back and watch how the Lakers played Zubac the first game a couple nights ago. And watch how they played Zubac last night. And then watch how they played Harden the first game. And then watch how they played Harden this game. And then watch what they did with Kawhi. And what they realized is, let Kawhi go for 40. Let Kawhi go for 40. But you know what? We're not coming off the strong side to use it. We're coming from the weak side. And Harden, we're not sitting on your right shoulder. We're sitting on your left. All right? We're forcing you to your opposite hand. We're not letting you get a layup. Go for the floater. Float away. Float away. Do it. JJ Redick and his assistants. I caught a little of the show last night. I heard you assistant bashing. I need to push back on this. But I'm going to tell you this, that assistants majority of the time, you're right and wrong, Joe. There's layers to it. Okay. But this year's Los Angeles Lakers assistants are a major part of the Lakers' success. They absolutely are. And if you just look at the gameplay and the strategy, JJ Redick has outcoached Tyronn Lue three times. The game in Inglewood, he got him too. So coaching, defense, role players, and another Terminator out there to just, when Bron says, hey, go fuck shit up, he goes and fucks shit up. And that's what we got now, Joe.
Man, I've been getting destroyed on that assistant thing for the last day or so. All the crew is just hammering me. It's all good. Hey, Aaron, how you doing, bud? Good to see you here. So Intel, he's one of our.
Oh yeah, read that, but I'm gonna tell you.
No. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I don't want to interrupt the super chat. Go ahead.
Well, what I was gonna do here is I had to get back to Intel's original one. I don't know who switched it. Hold on a second here. Keep going.
Yeah. So, you really only noticed assistant coaches when the team is terrible. When you don't really notice the assistant coaches, that's a good thing, guys. That's a good thing. It means that the coaching staff is not a mess. You're not complaining the head coach needs help. You're not complaining who's going to fill in if he gets fired. You're not complaining. How are our young people developing? You're not complaining about any of that, right? The true sign of a quality coaching staff is you don't hear anything about assistants. That's the quality sign. And they have a really good group of guys, a really good staff this year. And you know what, Joe? Rob and Jeannie were giving us signs that we did not catch when they hired JJ, myself included. They were giving us signs when they said they were investing in player development and a player development director, a director of player development. They said they were they were putting money back into these assets of the team, this facet of the team. Now, when we said it, like, okay, cool, but are you going to get the right guy? All of this, the medical staff, right? They went and got the guy who ran the NBA health department, right? That's the guy who shut down the trade, right? They were giving us signals that they were putting money back into the team in these ancillary areas that help lead to winning, okay? And the biggest part of all that was that when they got the rookie coach this time, they went and spent the money to go get those head coaches and to go get that, the trainers and to go get redid their film. We did a bunch of things that would help JJ, who is a film room guy, a basketball junkie / nerd, right? And they went out and gave him the assets he needed to do his job. What you're seeing right now, that is translating to the basketball court. And just look at those 2 Clipper games in the last week, and you will see completely different game plans. And the Clippers had no idea what to do with them. And when Joe, you said they were like, we don't know, we can't do anything here. That's a major piece why, outside the greatness of Luka and LeBron.
And speaking of that, LeBron is, I mean, this is I don't know what other compliments you can throw at this guy, but what is going on with this guy? What is he doing? Is it just one of those anomalies that you can't really gauge or understand? How is it that this guy continues to get better in a lot of ways? His shooting, his getting into strike mode, which if you've watched for those of you who are watching, you watch basketball enough, you can tell that this wasn't gonna not be a problem. I had a pretty good feeling that Luke and him were gonna work. A lot of that has to do with the fact that there's a history of LeBron and Luka that a lot of people don't know about. LeBron wanted Luka to be part of his
shoe brand, his first
shoe, right?
Yeah.
And of course, Luka decided to go with the Jordan brand, but that was I remember that interview vividly. It was after they won the championship in 2020, and he was talking, highly of Luka Doncic, and I can only imagine what went through his mind. And he was playing well before Luka got there, by the way, folks. He was playing well, like he was playing better, but talking about getting gassed up. What do you think, Jeff? Honestly, what do you think he was really thinking that night? Because I don't know if he sleeps early. I'm going to assume he was awake, right? I think he was awake. I think there might have been an interview.
Okay, out to dinner.
Okay,
they were in New York. They were in New York.
Okay, so you're good at observing things, and you're good at getting some info. That's why I think it's good to ask you this question, because I can go off observation usually. Not a lot of inside stuff. That's kind of why I rely on you on that. What do you think initially, the second he heard that it was real? Because the first 15, 20 minutes, everyone thought it was a joke, right? But when it was official, what do you think LeBron was thinking in that moment when he realized it was real?
Point to your hat, Joe. Point to your hat, Joe.
I just pulled that hat out of my suitcase, by the way. I'd forgotten where it was.
Yeah, no, well, you get it ready. Because look, what I'm saying is this: is LeBron for the first time probably since 2021 was like, okay. Rob and Jeannie did their thing. The coaching staff is doing their thing. The role players are doing their thing. These guys like Austin Reeves have taken leaps. You're getting Fando back. This is the best chance It's crazy because you lose someone like AD who's incredible, but this is your best chance since 2021. You're playing great, and I don't care what no one says. Fuck what you heard. LeBron James is playing MVP style basketball. He is. This should be a no doubt. LeBron James should be an MVP candidate, and JJ Redick should be a Coach of the Year candidate. No doubt. Austin Reeves should be up for Most Improved. No doubt. If they finish top 3 in the Western Conference and those guys up for those awards don't mean nothing. They don't mean nothing. But outside of that, I think what it was, Joe, I think once he took it in, and I feel like if reports are true, and I don't know what is, what isn't, if he had to take this all in, I think he went through a bunch of emotions. But I think when the dust settled, he was like, "Oh shit!" Like thinking about, okay, we who, like his brain probably just started going, who can't we? Who can't? Nobody. There's no one we can't beat. If Luka's Luka, my guys are healthy, I stay healthy. JJ schemes. Yeah. I think he was just sitting back like, holy shit. We often relay the Luka trade to the Pau Gasol trade, and they are not the same player, but it's the same impact. The Lakers got to 3 straight finals after that trade, including that first year, and they only had him for half a season. Granted, they lost in 2008. That's a separate story. But what I'm saying is, the more you think about it, the more this feels like that. The more this feels like that. And the way LeBron is playing, the way LeBron is defending, the way he's shooting the 3. Joe, the confidence he shoots the 3 with. When he pulls up from 3, Joe, his body language, like I said, I'm gonna observe. His body language is like he's disappointed when he misses. Like when he gets the rebound, Joe, just so now I'm gonna go. When LeBron gets a rebound.
No, you got to Jeff, roll with your feelings. Go.
Or when Luka gets a rebound, everybody do yourself a favor. Do yourself a favor after the Lakers get a fast break or a LeBron dunk or a LeBron catch off a miss or an inbound pass. If you have the ability to DVR whatever is, rewind it, slow it down, and watch LeBron while the ball is in the air for the other team. Watch what he does. Watch what Luka does. These guys are all prepared to get it and go. They're lining themselves up. They've got what they need to do. And then the second that ball comes off for him and LeBron knows it's not his side, gone. 40 years old, beating everyone down the court. Why? Because he's beating the big man. The guards don't even know he's gone yet. Luka gets the ball, 2-handed chest pass over the top. LeBron gets it, and it's a layup. He wasn't doing this type of effort before. And 2 things about LeBron. I love everything he's done this year. And one thing I said, Joe, I said probably the best thing about the Lakers drafting and getting Bronny James is I felt that LeBron was going to be on his best behavior. I felt like the passive aggressive, the pouting, the weirdo-ness that we seen when the Lakers were down. I felt he didn't want to teach his son that, nor did he want his son to face what would come if he did that. So I felt that the Bronny situation has Braun on his best behavior as well. So he hasn't really thrown a tantrum this year. And I was at games last year, a couple of them, sitting pretty closely, watching Braun just throw fits on the bench between timeouts when the cameras aren't on, walking off to the tunnel, walking up, saying something under his breath to Pelinka, because where we were sitting was like right where Pelinka was. Shout out my guy, LOE. Right there. And he's just passing by, just chirping. Right? None of that this year. None of it. And the team, as instead of being in a toxic atmosphere, they're back in that 2020 fun atmosphere. And they believe they can do it, Joe. So the second LeBron believed, I feel that when LeBron is leading, he can be the best leader in the league. And when LeBron is bought in, he can still play at an MVP level. I've been saying this for years. Well, he's leading like 2020. And he believes in it, so he's all in again at 40 years old. And it's incredible.
It is. And I think you made a good point about him being on his best behavior. It's interesting what that behavior created. So what it did was, and no one, I don't think they could have predicted a Luka Doncic opportunity unless, of course, they're lying and they might have talked to Nico in the summer and they just waited till, that could have happened too. But let's just say it didn't. Let's say it didn't. Let's just say what the Lakers did by drafting Bronny James was tactical. There was a tactical reason. And it wasn't just, hey, we make our stars happy. What it might have been was in case we need to trade someone that he cares about, he's got to be a good boy. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be saying that word. Got to be, let's say, with the team.
You got to behave.
Got to behave, right? You can't come out here and say, hey, what kind of whatever. Dude, we just drafted your son and gave him a 4-year contract. Go over there. So that tactic, considering what's happened, makes a lot more sense now. But beyond that, I mean, you gave LeBron James life that was dead. Mm-hmm. This was going to die. There was no way any other player in this league could have reinvigorated this career except for Luka Doncic.
Yep.
Because that guy is the perfect player to play with LeBron right now. It might sound, I don't know, homerish. It's not. It's not. I really actually had this discussion. It wasn't on air. I was actually talking to my buddy of mine. I said, well, what other player in the NBA would have made this much of a difference had they been traded to LA? Would Giannis have made that much of a difference?
No.
No. Really? Let's be honest. As much as I like Giannis, no. Wembanyama, would he have made a difference? Well, probably, but he's not here. And he's still young, right? Young players, no matter how good they are in the NBA, it's very difficult for those guys to kind of be that guy. They need a few years. It took Jordan 7 years, to win a championship. It took Shaq 8 years. And to me, those are the two best young players that I ever watched, do their thing. And it took them a while to do it. So then you start going into other things. Okay, well, who? Kyrie? Not for AD. So you're losing ground at that point. Like, who else? Really, there's no one else. KD's done. And from the standpoint of what he was, and I don't think that works out anyways. I said, Luka's the guy. Luka was the one guy that could do this. We didn't think about it. I didn't think about it. But if you had talked to me 3 months ago and said, what's one player that would change things around? There's no doubt I would have said Luka. Now, we had been talking about Luka for a while. Like, is Luka going to take the Supermax? Will he go become a free agent? And I totally asked that question, totally knowing he would. No one's going to turn down that money, especially in Texas. And he loved being in Dallas. I said, the only way that guy comes to LA is if he decides to be a free agent, which it's just not going to happen. Jokic, the reason why I never even brought up Jokic is I don't think Jokic would ever want to touch LA. Mm-mm. Even if it's not his choice, like if Denver wanted to trade him, I just don't see how that would, I mean, he would make it work, but I don't know how that dynamic is. I just think Luka's game, Luka's attitude, Luka's aura is the square peg in that square box for LA. And you saw the clip I sent you.
Yeah.
That guy was talking shit. The fucking ball was still in the middle. It hadn't even gotten close yet. And he was talking shit to Harden. I mean, you know how demoralizing that is. That's usually Harden doing that to people, right? I don't know if he talks shit like that, but Luka threw that three from freaking the other side of the court and just stared at Harden talking shit. And that thing wasn't even halfway there yet. Man, have I missed that, man.
Like the look he gave Devin Booker, right? Remember when he was?
God.
So Luka's got a history of being that guy that I told you, Joe. The Lakers are in that weird place where they've never been known for, where we are the irritants now. We are the blue collar, the hardworking. Like, this isn't the glamour. You know what I mean? This isn't the glitz and glamour. Because Luka's rugged. Luka's rugged. Like it's the Lakers are irritants, and irritants win. Irritants win games, especially in the playoffs, because defense travels. And you saw it yesterday with the Clippers, and if not for a couple mental mistakes, You've seen guys wear down. You've seen guys have meltdowns. You got Vando out there just talking trash, mucking it up, doing his best Draymond impression, right? You've got AR who doesn't back down. You got Gabe Vincent who doesn't back down. You got DFS who doesn't back down. You got Rui who doesn't back down. You got Luca who doesn't back down. JJ doesn't back down. Like, Joe, like this. We've got dogs. And what did I keep saying, you guys? My biggest reason I wanted Bruce Brown, or felt that the Lakers wanted Bruce Brown, is because they needed a dog. They needed another dog on that team, right? And I'm not a Bruce Brown isn't in my top 10 guys I would say get him on this team. But he was a guy that could have helped, right? He is a guy that could have helped. Now you don't need him. This dude Goodwin is essentially very similar to him, right? And that's what Brown was in Brooklyn. That's what he was in Detroit. That's what he was like until, he won a chip with Denver and he got recognized for what he can bring to a team. But Joe, that at the time, and I said it at the time, and I felt we'd have to wait till the playoffs to truly see his value. But when they did that DFS trade, Joe, I was all over the place. That is an organizational trade. People don't know the difference here. Like, that trade that they did for DFS, that is a piece. That is Denver getting KCP. That's these moves. That's he's not to the level, but that's Golden State getting Iggy because he took a lesser role, right? Like, what I'm saying is, like, Lakers getting Robert Horry. I'm not putting him in that of a Hall of Famer, but I'm saying every team that goes on a pretty decent 3-4 year run has a guy like this. They make a move like this. And the DFS one is one that didn't get a lot of glamour, didn't get a lot of talk because everyone thought that was going to be the big trade. Oh, well, that's all you got was DFS. But they didn't know what else they were working on at the time, right? And then so you pre-add him, knowing he's already played with Luka. Again, they were leaving us breadcrumbs. We just didn't pick them up. We were seeing it. The drafting of Bronny, the securing Bronny. They were buying loyalty from LeBron. The hiring of JJ. The drafting of Bronny, right? Like, all these things. They were getting buy-in from LeBron, which LeBron has had his ups and downs. I felt like him and the Lakers organization were most likely on similar page because they did the trade for him, right? The Russ trade. But what I'm saying is, this is the most buy-in I've seen from LeBron and the Lakers in a while. And the steps that the Lakers did, it looked like they were willing to make some moves. They were willing to do some things. And getting buy-in from Bron was the thing. And what I really liked was hearing that conversation that JJ had with Bron in Miami that night, where all of us essentially gave up on this team, myself included. I think I tweeted Magic that night. Like, I think I tweeted Magic that night telling him to give Jeannie the number to the acquisitions department at Guggenheim, right? Like that was the night I was like done with this team. Done with them. Like, from the standpoint, this version of this team, there is no coming back from. And the little did we know that just weeks later, look what they pulled off. And they sent me back to the couch. and they've been doing this, Joe. They've been leaving breadcrumbs. It started with the hiring of JJ. It's starting with them putting back into the franchise. It started with them getting Bronny. It started not for anything to do necessarily on the court, but just for the buy-in, just for the plan, the strategy, getting the assistants, doing the DFS trade, and landing Luka. And here we are. My God, when's the last time we were number 2 in the West? Because in 2021, we weren't.
No, since 2020.
2020, yeah. So it's been 5 years. I know this is not what we play for. I understand that. But damn, it's so much better than 7 through 13. Fighting for play-ins. Fighting for play-ins. And that shit. Ugh.
That shit sucks, man. That shit sucks so bad. And they were a number 1 seed when they traded for Gasol. So there was some positive there, but they had just had to deal with Bynum getting injured at that point. And the breadcrumb trade, I actually like that term, the breadcrumb trade. It always follows the big trade.
Yep.
And Trevor Ariza was that breadcrumb trade that's similar to the DFS trade. in 2007. They had a player named Brian Cook, who was their first pick, whom just really never lived up to a first round pick, even though he had a somewhat good shooting stroke. He just wasn't consistent enough. There was also a player named Maurice Evans who was kind of a. I always called him. He should have gone into modeling more than maybe probably. I mean, he wasn't a bad basketball player.
He was athletic,
but he couldn't. There was a missing gap somewhere between. He had the skills, he had the build, but he didn't have kind of the heart to play a certain way. He kind of reminded me of Burrell, Scotty Burrell. Remember how in the Last Dance, when Jordan would get on him all the time? I think the reason why Jordan got on him was because he knew he was capable, but he was just not. He wasn't a killer, right? He didn't want to go get it. And then that followed. Then, of course, a year later, or not even a year later, 4 months later, 3 months later, you saw Gasol come to the Lakers. So here we are, kind of the similar situation where they get DFS, who happens to be Luka's best friend, and then you go and get Luka. I don't know. And I don't know if a lot of people know that you were pretty down this year from what was going on in with the Lakers, and it's hard to be excited, especially off of a Dodger thing. And I gotta answer Intel's super chat here because it's a really good question. It was very hard. It was very hard not to be thinking Dodgers during the beginning of the LA Lakers season and through December, because not only did they win the championship, but they were, I mean, I don't even think you can say they were putting their foot on people's throats, signing Snell, signing Tanner Scott, signing back Teo, signing back Kike. I mean, it was it was so relentless. They were basically taking putting the league in the guillotine and just slicing and dicing at that point.
Empire Strikes Back.
Right? and for us to answer your question, Intel's question was, if both win a championship this year, which one means the most? This is a really hard one. So I'm gonna let you go first, though.
If they win this year, they both win 2025.
Both win this year, which one means more? Great question, man. That's a great one.
All right, I'm gonna say first of all, there's no wrong answer. There's no wrong answer. I feel it's not a cop out. I could go a million different reasons in both directions as to why neither one of them is a wrong answer. And even with that, I'm still struggling like I'm going to give the wrong answer. But I would say, damn it, man.
No, man, there is no answer to this one, dude. This is one of the hardest questions I've been asked.
I would say the one that would mean it's so hard to say it wouldn't mean for the damn it, no, because the Dodgers winning back to back.
The Dodgers have never won back to back. They've been in existence since 1884, folks. That's a long time. They have never won back to back, and it's not just back to back either. It's not just back to back. It's back to back in an era of baseball that doesn't allow you to win back to back.
Yeah, and it's I could say that the Lakers need it more because the Dodgers just won one, but the Dodgers only have one in like 30 years. Right? They need to be greedy and get back to back. You could say, okay, well, the Lakers just got one. And oh, no, sorry. They won 2022. Duh. But what I'm saying on their run of like they have 2 in 30 years, right? The Lakers have pretty much done every decade. So having said that, I'm going to say Lakers just because they were in the toilet. There was no hope for the future. Even if the Dodgers lose a year, they're still going to be favorites to win the World Series the next year. I'm going to say Lakers because the team was at probably one of the lowest points I've ever seen it in my life. And the fact that they kind of hit the fast pass and cut the line there and they could potentially win it this year. I would say The Dodgers won a World Series without Ohtani, without the guys they have now. The Lakers won a series with LeBron, won a championship with LeBron. Having LeBron James win a championship at age 40, after pulling off the trade for Luka, after one of the most frustrating stretches in Laker history, to where ownership and management was almost ran out of town. That's a Cinderella story to me. That's that literally from darkness to light, like from hell to heaven in the same season. I don't think I've ever seen that pulled off. Although the Dodgers having no freaking rotation, and you could not have told me that after game 3 of the NLDS that we weren't winning anything. That was darkness to light, but that was a short window. What the Lakers pull this off, it's a big if. And in hindsight, so was the Dodgers with no rotation. My God, I'm talking myself out of my pick.
No, Jeff, I don't think I can answer it. Honestly.
Yeah,
Dude, the Dodgers beat the Yankees in the World Series. Let's focus on how. See, it matters who you play too.
Yeah,
and it matters how you win sometimes too. The Dodgers won a series in our lifetime okay, here. How do you feel about the 2009 NBA championship versus the 2010? Beating Orlando in the finals?
Yeah, that's probably my least. So here's the only reason, and this is the only reason I loved that championship was because it was Kobe's first without Shaq.
Yes.
Outside of that, if you remove that from it, it might be the weakest championship the Lakers ever won. From a standpoint of not weakest, but probably like the one I think about the least.
Yeah, it was the least. There's no cachet with Orlando, right? Denver, even though they were scary as hell, and to this day, believe it or not, to this day, the most nervous I've ever been in an NBA game, and people laugh when I say this, is Game 3 in Denver in the Western Conference Finals. I was dying. I was slowly dying in that game.
They had won Game 2, right?
They lost Game 2 to Denver, and Denver
Denver won Game 2. Yeah,
J.R. Smith hit that 3. They were up with like a minute and change left. Then Kobe hit that 3 that's where the underbite came from. Yeah, that's where it came from. And everyone was like, "Oh, Kobe did this in 2005." I'm like, "No, you dumb shits! It happened in that game. That's when he first started doing that." What was great about 2009 was it reminded me a lot of just a team that was focused. It reminded me of I use the Redskins in 1991 as an example. I used the 2014 Spurs from beginning to end in that year. Even though some of those series were kind of close, they were the clear-cut best team everywhere, every minute of that year. There wasn't ever a time where they weren't the best. Now, in 2010, I still felt like they were the best, but it was Kobe dropped 7 game winners in that year, which he should have won MVP too in that one.
Yeah. So I'm not taking away from the 2009 season. I'm talking about the championship, the finals.
You're awesome.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So you have it matters. It matters that the Dodgers not only did what they did this year, the way they did it, who they played. They beat the Padres, and the way they beat the Padres for 2.5, more than 2.5, 2 3/4 of that series was as dominant as I've ever seen a team play. Guys, I've watched a lot of baseball in my life. I've seen a lot. I mean, a lot. I have never seen 24 straight. I have never seen it. 24 straight?
Nah.
Shut up innings against that offense?
Not from a pen combined.
And no quote unquote aces, right? I had never seen this, guys. And then they play the Mets, whom everyone was OMGing. Hey, they've been, I don't know how many times I heard that stupid ass line. Oh, they've been the best team since May. They've been the best team since May. Man, fuck you and May. Okay? Season starts in March. All right? Get your shit together. They whoop on them. I know it went 6, but one of those was a bullpen game. I don't count that. And of course, the loss that they did have with Flaherty ended up actually becoming an asset because that gave Freeman 3 extra days to get ready to whoop the Yankees' ass, right?
We talked about that leading up to
Yes, yes. And then the Yankees. So I was asked, the Dodgers have finally won in LA in every series this year. Do you want to let's win the World Series in LA? I'm like, fuck that. I go, no, I want to win in New York. I said, nope, I want in New York. What? Why? Don't you want them to win? I'm like, first of all, I can't go into to games going, oh well, let's lose 2 and we'll come back and win. I can't do that. I go, fuck all that. I want to sweep. And they got close. And winning in New York, to me, as a Dodger fan, as a guy who knows the history of this series, if you came to me and said, 10 out of 10, do you want to win all 10 in New York? Absolutely. I want to win in Yankee Stadium. That's the team. That's the iconic baseball team, even though the Dodgers are pretty iconic, but that's the one that's sitting at 27. And hopefully I'm alive for the next 30, 40 years. Maybe the Dodgers can add a 10-piece here between now and then so that we can start getting close, right? Winning that series the way they want it, who they beat, is why it's very hard to say, oof, who's more important. The other thing is I want Boston next.
I want Boston and Houston.
I don't know if you've been seeing Houston might have shaved off. I think Houston might have shaved off a little too much.
I know, but I mean, they got some.
I hope they can get through. I really do. If they could, if you ask me for the next 2-3 years, who do you want in the World Series? I'll say Houston every time.
Yeah,
but I want one of those motherfuckers this year, and it's going to be very hard to pick against that. If
imagine, so like we won in New York, I would also want to win in Fenway. And Mookie get a ring in Fenway. Like that would be, to me, I don't care where we win. The parade's in LA. That's enough for me. Give me the parade. Take their hearts, bring it back across the country with the trophy, and let's celebrate. That I would love to beat Boston. Bring them chowder crying hearts across the country with the trophy and celebrate. That would be amazing because we could avenge 2018. I don't know if we're ever going to be able to avenge 2017. I'm doing my best roasting these clowns on a daily basis. I'm having a lot of fun
seeing that. So are they just attacking you now or what?
Oh yeah. So on TikTok and IG, like they're going ballistic on me. So I did one video. Like a few weeks ago, and it took on a life of its own. It got crazy. So ever since I did that video, these guys have been on my like comments of any video I post. So I just been like zapping them like multiple times a week to the point where I've got like, you know what it is? I found the one team that every other team in MLB will rally against. And even though the Yankees are against the Dodgers right now, the enemy is my friend thing. We just beat them in the World Series, but Yankee fans have a lot more respect for us than they do for them. And and all of them. So you socially start messing with Astro fans. Oh my God, it's gold. It is gold. I'm getting death threats. I'm getting all kinds of stuff from H-Town's finest over this. But it's
so you like that smoke, huh?
Oh, I love the smoke. Oh, I love it. I'm built for trash talking. I love it. So I mean, to me, it's not personal. Like I don't. The internet is like I don't take an ounce of it seriously from a perspective of like they could never hurt my feelings. You know what I mean? So it's like for me, I'm just talking trash. I'm just talking sports trash. I don't cross the line. I don't. They do, but I don't cross the line. And so it's nothing. I can do that in my sleep. You know what I mean? I can do that. I walk through this house, talk. Me and my wife talk trash back and forth. You know what I mean? Like it's no like we'll talk trash, we'll talk shit. Like it's nothing. It's nothing. I'm built for this. So it's especially when I get turned up on something. If I'm going and it's back and forth. Oh my God! Like this is all I did. This is all I do. You know what I mean? So the Astros fans, Trastros fans, asterisks, all them. It's fun over there on TikTok right now with them. It's amazing over there with them right now.
Well, the question of if Ohtani wins another MVP, is he officially the GOAT? My response to the GOAT discussion is It's interesting one. We have to wait to see this career finish. Number one, he's got 9 years left on his Dodger contract. I'm going to assume he's going to retire after his contract is over. Let's just say he does.
Mhm.
And that would put him at what, a 16-year career?
I think didn't he do 7 with the Angels?
I think he did 6, didn't he? He got in 18. 18, 19, 20 was
He's
21,
older. No,
22.
He extended. Remember, he had that extended year. He did that 1 year extension. I think he did 7 years with the Angels.
Okay, so he did 7. Okay,
I think, but that's not tripping.
I'll check it out. So
because we got him at 29, right? He turned 30.
Correct.
So yeah. He came over 20. Yeah, I think he did 7 years with the Angels.
Okay, so
I'm just off the top of my head. I think it's 7 years.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, he did 6 with the Angels. He came in at 23. Okay. And then last year was his 7th. So I think my criteria for being the greatest of all time, which is it's a tall order, guys. You're still talking Babe Ruth, and you're also talking about the fact that Barry Bonds was alive. Now, where Barry Bonds' situation gets a little hazy is we all know he was a Hall of Famer before 98, right? We know that. We've talked about that. And unfortunately, if you let Bonds in, then everybody's going to want to get in. That's why they haven't put him in yet. But there is that stain, and I'll just leave it at that. And Shohei doesn't have any of that stain. If Shohei wins a Cy Young, I don't know how and wins 4 or 5 titles, because he's going to win more MVPs. Yep. He's going to probably win at least a couple more. I don't know necessarily how he's not. That's 50, just 50, not 50, something. 50. Yeah. I mean, you can't. I mean, and if had he that game, see, this is the problem here. Every time I think about that game in Miami, it still gnaws at me. Like, seriously, it's gnawing at me right now. That fucker had to throw a perfect ball to third base. He would have had the cycle.
Oh yeah. That's, oh my God, the cycle in a
50
game that was a 3 home run game. Oh my God. And 3 home run game cycle game for 50-50.
It still gnaws at me. I still can't. Every time the game gets discussed, I'm like, fuck. They just, why did he have to throw it perfect? That if he had just thrown it a little bit to the right, he would have been safe. Oh my God.
That's still the best individual performance I've ever seen on a baseball.
How can it not be? How many times have you seen somebody go 50-50 in the game where they went 6 for 6, 10 RBIs?
So I was at work, right? This was a day game. I don't know if people remember this. It was a day game, right? For us, because it was on the East Coast. So it was a day game. And I just remember, like, I'm listening to it in my office, and I'm like, okay, there's one. I bought tickets to the next night, the next home game, thinking it was gonna be. I was there when he hit 40 with the walk-off grand slam. Shout out to the Dodgers for sending me the commemorative. So I was there when he walked off grand slam 40-40. Lost my damn mind on that, right? Drank my face off in that one, right? So walk off 40-40 grand slam for a win. And then I'm like, man, I'm gonna be there for 50-50. And remember we talked about, I think it's we're trying to, piece out the games, right? And I'm like, oh man, it's gonna be home. It's gonna be at home. Was it Colorado? I think they were gonna be facing Colorado, was it? I'm trying to remember, but I remember thinking I bought the whole series that when they got home. I think it was a 3-game series. I bought the 3 games, and this dude did it. He did it in Miami, man. But which is fine, right? But I just remember being at work. He got one. I'm getting the alerts and phone calls. I'm listening to it, and my dad calls me before the 3rd at bat. And he's like, he's going to do it again. He's going to do it again. He's going to do it again. And he's watching live on TV. So I'm on the phone, so I can't hear it. I just hear him go, oh, shit, it did it again. And he starts going crazy. I'm like, no way he heard it. And I heard the hit while on the phone through his TV. And I was like, my God, this dude, the way he hits the ball. Like, and they remodeled. Did you hear the story? How they had to when they're remodeling the clubhouse, part of the things they did is Mookie asked them to move the quiet area to the other side of the clubhouse because Shohei's batting practice is too loud. And I'm like, Joe, do you ever listen to games on the radio?
Very rarely.
Okay, so I do because I was raised listening to games on the radio, right? So I still do. And so I'm your when you're driving and you listen to Shohei hit, bro, when you hear the bat hit the baseball on radio, there was one time, it was that game where he hit it. It was a Sunday game, I think, and he hit it like almost out. And Dave's face, remember, was like, what the? Well, I was listening to the game when he hit that. And when he hit that ball, all you heard was the smack. And the announcers couldn't even really react. They were like, what the? You just hear, shh. They start to say Shohei and they stop. They just stopped. And I told my wife, because we were driving, I was like, did you hear that? I can't see a thing. That's gone. I'm like, that's just gone, right? And I'm just like, I don't know where that thing landed, but oh my God, I've never heard a baseball hit that loud. And 9 more years of this. And I don't think he's a guy that's going to, his age is, I don't think he's going to tail off like to it. He's such a prodigy. Maybe his average dips some, or maybe he reinvents himself somehow, but in a way, but I think the power, just the way, Joe, his hand-eye coordination of landing contact when he does, I've never heard anything like it. Never heard a ball hit that hard.
You've seen the Bo Jackson 30 for 30?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Do you remember when they were there was a I can't remember if it was ex-manager or baseball guy. He had mentioned that there was a sound that he heard only 3 times in his life, the way the bat hit the ball. One was Babe Ruth, the other was Josh Gibson, and the other was Bo Jackson. Number 4 is Shohei Ohtani.
Well, that
crack that you heard on the radio. There's probably only been, maybe Bonds is there somewhere too. But I never heard it from Bonds or Griffey's bat. But
No.
there's something. It's like what is that thing that cackles? I don't know. I can't remember what it is. It's like something that, it's like this sound. It's a unique sound to where the ball hit the wood hits the baseball.
The maraca you talking about? Like
that's it. The maraca. It's like a it's like a crack.
Yeah. It's,
and when you've only heard that apparently three times in the history of the game, and then you have the 4th guy come.
That's
once in a generation is not enough for Shohei. No. At this point, he is a once in a century player, because the last guy that did this was alive 100 years ago, and that was Babe Ruth. Shohei Ohtani will be the greatest of all time if the Dodgers continue to win World Series and he gets a Cy Young Award, because I think he's going to end up with 5, at the very least, 5 MVPs. And if he wins, Babe Ruth won 7 World Series titles. I don't know necessarily if the Dodgers are going to do 7. God, please let it happen.
Oh God, if they get 7 out of 10, oh mother.
Yeah. If they can do, to me, I always look at 6. The 6 is the sweet. It's the sweet number for a decade. Maybe it's because I grew up in the 90s and I saw the Bulls do it. But 6 always sat really, really well for me. 5 is not bad either. But again, and even 4 is not bad either. But once you get spoiled with 6, it's hard to get away from the 6 number. And he becomes the best player the Dodgers have ever had. He becomes the player of the decade. He becomes the player of the century. And it's only fitting that if he can somehow get a Cy Young, he becomes the greatest baseball player that ever lived.
He wins a Cy Young, and he's been in the running before, so it's not outside the realm of.
Well, he was close. He was close in. He was 4th in 2002.
Wait, 2000? You mean 22?
I'm sorry, 2022. Sorry, 2022. He was close. He was the 4th. I think he was 4th.
Do you remember that story I told? I think I told you this because I did end up going to that game after I bought the tickets hoping he would do it at home. He didn't, but I still went to the game. And when he was up to bat, did I tell you this? How quiet it was? It felt like I was there with my guy Joe, and we're sitting there, and he goes, "Yo, you hear?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, it is pin drop. It was so silent. It was like you were watching. I really can't put it into words, but that's not the best part of the story. Is he goes up there and there's not a sound. Like they play his, the show goes on. They're playing his walk-up song, and there's no sound other than the song. And I'm looking around like, am I? I'm like, am I the only one that's like? But everyone is just like in awe. There's just nothing. There's no sound, nothing. And he strikes out. He strikes out. Everyone starts clapping. He struck out at home, and they're clapping like a guy just stepped off stage. And that'll never escape me. I've never seen that in my life. I've seen Kobe celebrated for some things, walking off the court after an injury, celebrate like this and that. But a guy walks up, gets out at the beginning of a baseball game, and there's no sound, and they clap when he strikes out and walks back to the dugout. I've never in my life, and I don't know if I'll ever see that again, but I was there for that. I was just like, wow. Of all the things, it just tells you we are dealing with something different. We've watched, I didn't get to catch Magic much, I could barely remember it, but we saw Kobe, we had Shaq, we had LeBron. We've seen greatness, right? Joe, I'm not convinced that not only would he just be the GOAT in baseball, but he may finish as like the most influential global athlete of, they're saying like Japan, man, you can't, what's that Mookie said? Like he's twice on every corner. Like you can't, he's in like their schooling, like he's in their textbooks. When they teach the children of Japan knowledge at a young level, Shohei, he's in the math equations. Shohei gets 3 hits out of 4 hits. Like he's in their textbooks. It's incredible, man. He may go down as the most influential athlete of all time.
The fact that he's transcended in baseball, not basketball or football, and he's not an American, and he's this influential, that proves even more of how big of a star he is. Mookie was talking about how he can't leave his house in LA, like Orange County where he lives. He can't leave. Like he's too famous. Kobe could at least get to the Baskin Robbins in Newport Beach. He could at least go there. I don't think Shohei can do that. That's how big he is. I'm not saying he's bigger than Kobe. I mean, no one's bigger than Kobe in LA. Kobe.
No, you're right. But
Kobe in LA is, I don't think anybody will ever beat that. And this is with me saying Magic you could argue, you have full authority and full understanding that if you said Magic is LA number one, I have no argument with that. I still feel like that's kind of the way it is because he's the Showtime. He's LA. Kobe is LA in a lot of ways to the blue collar guys, but Magic was a blend of both. He was maniacal, but he also did it with flair, which is Hollywood, right? Kobe would have been perfect for Boston. He would have been perfect for Philly.
Yeah, he would have been
right?
the villain. See, but Magic built the stage, right? And Kobe took the torch,
right?
Like is what it was. But yeah, Magic was the foundation.
Absolutely. So Shohei Ohtani, the assets will likely follow here. There is no reason for him to take there was a financial reason too. For those of you who don't know and have been getting on this deferment issue with the Dodgers. First and foremost, I want you guys to understand this. It's very important that you understand this. Forget about the baseball side of this. By deferring the money, folks, they can then establish residence where they want to collect that money, and they don't have to pay the taxes in California. So let me ask you a question. If you're already making $40 to $70 million a year, depending on your endorsements, I think Shohei makes, 70 to 100 million, I think.
That we know about, right?
Right, that we know about, right? And you know you're going to get the biggest deal that ever existed. What are you going to do? Well, I don't really need this money to go to the government. I don't need half of this to go to the government. Why don't I just wait 10 years to get most of this later, and I can save, I don't know, $300 million maybe? I don't know, depending on where he sets his residence. Folks, these deals are not just baseball decisions. Sometimes it's financial decisions outside baseball, and that's what that was. It's a brilliant decision, too, because if he doesn't do it, he loses half that money because he's in California. So he comes in and he offers the Dodgers, and he offered that he would defer $680 million. This is a big part of why people love him. Also, folks, I'm trying to
took the Dodgers completely off guard. They
took
did this
off guard
during negotiations.
What that did was, much like how you just discussed, how the Lakers created this platform that maybe we didn't see, but they kind of set the stage and said, all right, LeBron James, we'll draft your kid. We'll draft your kid, and we'll do this. And then now you can't really say anything. I'm not saying that's what they were thinking, but that's how it played out. Now you're sitting there and you're going, oh, my God. They're signing everybody. And by the way, folks, almost every big signing this year, whether it was in-house or not, all took less money to stay in LA. So stick that up your pipe. Not your pipe that you smoke either, the other pipe. And then
Beverly Hills Cop pipe.
Right? And then I was watching the Surge scene. Oh my God, that scene never gets old. The Surge.
How do you say sir? Say it. How do you say it?
Surge. Well.
No, you want it with a lemon twist?
What is this scrub for the customer?
Yeah.
Oh, the scrub. So I have a little hamburger meat, although it's lightened up a little bit. I always take a scrub for the customer, and if anybody knows the line, they'll always crack up. But most people are fucking boring ass fucking people. They don't know shit.
Yeah.
Anyways,
great scene though.
Right. So we're sitting there, and this is kind of like a reverse thing because it was his offering to take the deferment. So what did you guys expect? What did you expect? Ohtani said, may I have an opt-out if you guys get rid of Andrew Friedman? Essentially sealing Friedman's career as a Dodger player personnel guy for the next decade. If you guys decide that you want to let this guy go, then I have to have the option to bounce.
And if they sell,
right?
Too, yeah. So
okay.
Even if they sell, they keep Friedman. He's trying to keep the whole thing together, the whole thing. He's trying to keep the fist together. If not, he can opt out. You open the fist, he's telling you this, like no, we're winning with this.
So this builds the legend more. So when you look back on the Shohei Ohtani legend, oh, and by the way, folks, a lot of people don't know this. I kind of my jaded, cynical side always kind of doesn't believe things sometimes, even though it's reported. Jeff, he asked the Angels to match, right? Like, if you guys match, I'll stay. Is that true? Or did he say it? Did he say it knowing they weren't gonna match? Just make it look good.
From what I understand, I've heard a couple different variations of this, and they're all from really good people who have given me good information over the years. But they said themselves it's really, really hard to get. It was a lot easier to get intel on Yamamoto than it was on Shohei. I can tell you this, okay? And what I heard is that Shohei knew very early in the process that the Angels were going to be out. Not that he was 100% ruling them out, but Artie Moreno wasn't going to a certain level. And what I heard was, and again, I don't know how true this is because I'm just going off the information that was handed to someone else who handed it to me, right? I was not in the room, obviously. What I heard is that Artie Moreno set a hard deck of $500 million. Anything north of that, he was going to pass on, even with deferrals. He was going to pass on it. And the reason he was going to pass on it with deferrals is because Artie's not convinced he's going to be able to keep the team. And when you got a bunch of deferrals and it's the Angels, and even though Shohei there, if he got hurt, like, he wouldn't be able to sell the team. And so you already got, there's a bunch of different reasons, right? But what I heard was, and I don't know, but the hard deck was 500 mil. Anything above that, he was not going to do. From what I understand, Shohei and his camp knew that early in the process. So when they went back and said, this is the range of what we had, he had it from the Giants, he had it from the Blue Jays, he had it from the Dodgers, and he tried to secure that commitment from the Angels. And they were the only one of the 4 teams who didn't offer similar. And again, from what I understand, he knew early in the process that they had exceeded their comfort level of spending. So I think Shohei, being the man that he is, I think that he tried to give the Angels their respect, the fan base, to say, hey, I reached back out. I think that every way he went about doing this was about kind of being non-disrespectful to the Angels. And I think in the end, he was going to be a Dodger no matter what. But I think he was just trying to, maybe he gets another 50 mil out of this, right? I mean, who knows? But the Angels did not. And from everything that I also understood is that the Dodgers, the only threat that they felt were the Angels, because his loyalty. Was he going to really walk away from them if all things were equal? And so when the Dodgers kind of received the word that the Angels aren't going to do it, they really didn't fear anyone else. They felt they had him in the bag, which is why Dave said what he did, and right? So they felt that they had him really a year ago, a year before they got him. They felt they had him. He extended. And they pivoted briefly. But yeah, from everything I understood, Joe, I've heard different variations, but similar as far as the Angels weren't going to, the elevator didn't go up that high for the Angels. Similarly to the Dodgers and Soto. Similar. But totally different scenarios, obviously. But he was willing. And the thing that a lot of people don't really like understand with the deferral thing here is if Bryce Harper does that, if Juan Soto does that, right? If any of these guys did some of those mega stars put their teams in that position, because the Dodgers did not, don't get it twisted for a second. I am absolutely 100% sure that when the Dodgers were negotiating with Shohei Ohtani and they offered him $700 million a year, there was definitely deferrals in that offer. There definitely was. Shohei just came back and just took it to another level. So I don't know if it was 20 million a year, 30, 15. I don't know what the Dodgers serve you up like a platter of different variations of contracts, different terms. Like when you're buying a car, you get different options: lease, purchase, 72 months, whatever. That's how the Dodgers do. They offer these different things, and you pick this deal, you get a little more of this, but a little less of that, depending on what deal you pick. And Shohei got the deal of it all together because of his deferral stance. So if I had to guess, of the 700 million, the Dodgers probably were looking to defer probably 250. If I had to guess, roughly. And he came in and said, hold my beer, hold my sake, right? Because what I'm about to do, we're going to make history. We're going to make history. And I know that was a long answer, but that is kind of how that all shaked out. Shohei knew pretty early that the Angels were out.
Yeah, the key here is you're talking about a career that's close to getting to perfect here. You're talking 7 years of, I mean, we were talking about this with Luka. Luka had one of the best starts I've ever seen. You're talking about 5 first-team All-NBA, Rookie of the Year, scoring title, finals appearance, which I usually don't like to mention finals appearances, but it's much like the Mavericks had no business being in the finals last year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And had Kyrie not laid an egg, they would have had a chance to win it all. Still a team game, and Celtics were determined to win after a lot of bad years kind of coming up short. So, I mean, I just can't believe that in 2 years, the Lakers and the Dodgers got the two most influential players in their leagues. Jokic is the MVP. Don't get me wrong, folks, but I'm going to stay on this pretty heavily. Luka's going to be number one here at least in a couple of years. This is going to be his league, and he's on the biggest stage. And the Dodgers right now might not be the Yankees. Yankees are still the most popular baseball team that's ever existed. But
they've earned it.
And they've earned it. But that was the 20th century, folks.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to make it through the end of this century. I'll probably make it maybe in the next 30, 40 years, let's say, if I'm lucky. But the Dodgers are probably going to own this century. And we'll see if they end up winning 10, 12, 15. I don't know. They've only won 2 so far. But there's 75 years left. Can they win 10 more? Especially if the Guggenheims have been around for a while, guys. If you watch the movie Titanic, you know they've been around for a while, right? Well, we talked about the Titanic in the last show. I thought that was kind of funny. Yeah, because I told everybody that I do have a heart. I did cry when I saw that movie.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. I think the one that I think when they start playing the music, I think that was what triggered it.
Yeah, that song was so perfect for that movie, and not even that, just the music in general. The music in general. That movie came out at the perfect time. It really came out at the perfect time. Great movie too, man. I saw that movie I think 3 times in the theater. It's a long ass movie. Great film. Great film. I loved that movie when it first came out. I went and bought it the night it came out. We watched it at home that night with the fam. So like great movie. But let me ask you this question. Because this one is a tough one too. Maybe not so much for you, but I'm curious. Which franchise botched it more, Dallas or the Angels? Because keep in mind, Shohei never even made the playoffs with the Angels.
Dallas
again. That's what I'm saying. I was talking to someone about that the other day, and I said Dallas. Like as crazy as it sounds, Dallas.
You cannot make that deal. At least with Shohei, the realities of Shohei's departure wasn't. If you want to get to the nitty gritty of it, and I'm sure of this. I'm sure that they went back to the Angels and said, "Can you match it?" Kind of like the scene in Ray when he's talking to the record company and he knows that they can't. He probably knew that he couldn't compete with NBC.
Going to ABC.
It was ABC, and he goes, "I wish we could, but we can't." And I guess maybe, you know what, Shohei might be the exception. Maybe he would have taken if they matched, because that's who he is. He is a loyal guy, and that's his way, right?
Yeah, my whole thing about this wasn't about Shohei. Like my thing is, he knew the Angels weren't going to.
Right.
But I agree. I think because of his loyalty, I think he would have struggled.
Good for him. Good for him. He gave him a shot. They didn't come through. It is what it is. At least he gave him a shot. Good for him.
He called
Good for everybody.
He said, I'm gonna.
But the reality, Jeff, honestly, man. Well, okay, let's say they matched. What the fuck was he gonna do in Anaheim? Seriously, Mike Trout's career got destroyed. He turned into he's Ernie. He's gonna have a career like Ernie Banks now. Never went to. I mean, he went to one playoff game, and that's it. Like Ernie Banks didn't go to one damn playoff game, let alone one. Yeah, it's like, dude, you could not waste of time. It is the biggest waste. Yes, biggest waste, because now you sit there and you ask yourself, look at the difference when you put the number one guy where it matters. Look how much baseball became a discussion point when it hadn't been a discussion point. It helped that they had the number 1 and number 2 player in the World Series. That hadn't happened. Jesus, I don't even know who was number 1 and number 2 that went to the World Series in the last 25 years.
I like the top top player in baseball?
The 2 MVPs. When was the last time two MVPs met in the World Series? That's something we're gonna have to do some research on. I will maybe on the next question I ask, and I can look for it. But anyway,
I'm thinking. Who the year that the Braves? Who did the Braves play in 21?
They didn't go to the World's. Oh wait,
yeah, they did in 21.
I'm sorry. Yeah, they played Houston.
Was it the Astros? Did Altuve win MVP that year? Because Freddie did. I know Altuve's won a few. God, I hate that name.
I hate that whole existence.
Yeah, but that's the only thing I can think of, because Mookie, when he did Mookie win? Bellinger won MVP in 2018, right?
Mookie won in 18, but then Bellinger won in 19. So they were off.
Okay, gotcha.
They were off by a year.
Now I'm thinking, but I think 21 might be. But
I'll
still,
have to check it out.
But still, like as great as Freddie is, he's not Shohei, and even
shit. Jeff, do you drink?
Oh yeah.
Oh shit. All right. So Intel does this to us. Oh fuck! I know what I'm gonna have to do, because I don't think Jeff's gonna drink. Jeff.
Oh, I can't. Man.
I know it. All right, here. I'm gonna back up my boy here. I
can't tonight.
It's okay. I knew you weren't gonna be able to. It's just not in the cards for most people. Intel, I'm gonna counter that. Okay, I'm gonna take 6 shots in 6 minutes.
Holy shit!
All right, here. Y'all know how I roll.
Oh my god, I'm typically game for this, but I gotta go. I gotta head out after this.
It's okay.
I can't.
Shot number 1, guys. Do the timer.
Holy shit! I'm so pissed I can't partake in this.
Whew!
Oh, holy smokes! Wow.
Ooh, okay. All right. Remind me, guys, while we're talking. A minute's gonna go by quick. So
I owe this. I will.
I got you, man. Don't worry about it, man. I got you.
No. But I want the people to know I do this. All right. So
no. We get it. We get it.
Yeah, I will not duck this.
The greatest drinking night I ever had was the Century Club.
Ooh,
yeah. It was epic. We had a crowd behind us. There was 3 of us, and look, man, I got somebody watching over me, man. There's no other way to explain this. About an hour or 2 earlier, I can't remember exactly when it was. There was, thanks, Raider Chris, appreciate it, brother. I don't know why this happened. This happened on my 30th birthday too. Somebody brought a chocolate cake. This is in college. I love chocolate cake. Like when people say, "What's your favorite dessert?" Just chocolate cake. I don't even need frosting on it. Just chocolate cake. It's spongy. It's light. It goes down easy, and I love it with milk. Right. So somebody brought a chocolate cake. I ate half of the fucking cake. It was a bundt cake. Okay. There's no reason for me to eat half a cake. I wasn't even hungry. I don't know what it was. I ate half the cake.
You got to do another shot.
Right?
You got to do another shot now.
Okay. So now, number 2. Okay. So now,
this one.
I eat the cake. This wasn't planned. Hour or 2 later, we're partying. We're doing whatever. Oh.
What are you taking shots of? Jack Honey?
Honey Jack, yeah.
Oh.
So something happens like normal. Thanks, Intel. I appreciate it, brother.
Hold on. We got hold on.
Thank you. Go. So we sit there.
You got a soundboard?
Yeah. But it's the one they give us. It's the one they give us.
Oh, okay, got you.
So somebody starts talking. Tough guy this, tough guy that. Of course, as soon as I hear tough guy this, I'm always the guy that comes in and go, who the fuck here is a tough guy, really? Okay. And more often than not, no one's a tough guy. Yeah. All right, motherfuckers, you wanna play tough guy? Okay. How about this? My buddy and I, and then my other buddy, were like, all right, we're gonna do 100 shots. We need about a case of beer. Which one do you guys got? They had Coors Light. We're going to take a shot a minute. Okay, the first guy that yaks loses. This is not going to be about, oh, let's do this, let's do that, right? But we knew Century Club, that's kind of the basis of that discussion. So everybody's excited, and I'm like, please make sure you get me the beer that's cold, because at least if it's cold, it goes. You know, I can't. Warm beer makes you want to gag. Yeah. So it's like, get me, please, just make as long as it's cold. It was like the reverse in Goodfellas. Just nowhere cold, please.
Nowhere cold, please.
He's bronchial, I needed cold beer. I go, you give me cold beer, and I'll run this thing. So we start the Century Club. We start shooting. One of my boys. Absolute, and I mean, we fucking shredded this guy. Absolutely shredded him. All right, number 3's coming. We shredded him. He threw up at 29.
That's still pretty good.
Fuck that. I'm like, I was like,
29 shots?
Bitch, you this, you fucking that.
No, 29 shots of what?
Beer.
Oh, okay. But I thought the beer. I lost track for a second. 29 shots of beer. Oh, God.
Beer.
No. How many shots? Okay, so
Century Club. We were gonna do Century Club, right? Each of us
regular bottles of beer and do a shot glass.
Yes. So every shot of beer per minute. Per minute, you take a shot. Per minute, you take a shot. So he threw up at 29. What is that? Like 2.5 beers?
Bro, we be drinking till the sun.
Look, he. And usually he's a mouther. He's an Armenian guy. He always has a fucking response to something. Motherfucker didn't say a fucking word after that. He knew he was done. He left. I said, you need to just go, because you fucking are. You might as well be. And I was like chauvinistic shit. Like, you're a fucking bitch. You might as well be a chick. You might turn in your dick. Like the whole fucking thing, right? So
how many shots do you think are in a 40?
Well, 8 ounces. Beer. It's 40 shots.
Okay, so
it's an ounce a shot.
What we used to do at that point, like, so I'm either like, okay, but go ahead. I will say, like, we do some other stuff.
I'm going to show you a video of a 40 story. Hopefully, if you come to AZ, I'm going to show you the video. Guys, when I don't have to worry about this copyright cocksucking piece of shit assholes, I'm gonna be able to do some shit. When I get my channel going, the only reason why it's taking this long is I'm really trying to figure out which way to go with this, so I don't have to deal with these assholes. See, Gerald is a different beast. Gerald is one of those guys that worked around people,
around humans,
and he knows how to navigate through things. I'm not like that. I don't like people. I don't want to be around people, and I don't like authorities. That's why I work alone. So if I'm going to do this, I got to make sure that all of my ducks are in line, and it's always takes forever. It's the story of my life. But anyways, so my boy hits 29, throws up. We fuck him up. I wasn't even smiling. I'm like, dude, I remember it vividly. I was like, you are a fucking bitch. How the fuck do you throw up on 29? What the fuck? You've been drinking here with us for how long? You threw up on, like, we were fucking relentless. So we start going with my other boy. And by the way, he's the same size, but his mental part is better. So we're drinking right around 60. We get to 60, and I'm like, fuck. I'm like, man, my stomach is fucking rocking right now.
Nowhere else to put it.
Right. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like holding, like, for dear life at 60. I'm like, why the fuck do I want to throw up at 60? Should have happened like at 80 or 90.
Right.
And he's starting to feel a little bit. We're talking shit. We're doing whatever. And for some weird reason, I get like a second wind at like 68. And all of a sudden, I'm just like, oh, by the way, I got to shoot my foot. Yeah. That was like 3 minutes.
Oh, man.
So we get to 68, 69. I'm cool. Getting to 70, getting to 78, 79. I'm like, damn, man, I'm fucking killing this thing. All of a sudden, I get to 89. I remember it was 89, and I'm like, oh, fuck.
Here it comes.
I'm like, it's like coming right here.
Yeah. It's rising. Yeah.
I just start taking deep breaths. I'm like, whew. 90, 91, 92. Pain, 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 pain. I get to 99 and we're ready to hit the number 100, right?
99 shots of beer
I like
on the
that
wall.
minute was forever, right? So then finally we get to 100. He and I looked at each other and I'm fucked up at this point. My face is numb, the whole fucking thing, right? And everybody's cheering, everybody's doing whatever. All right, let's see if you guys can get the 110, 120. So we're sitting there, and he's my boy, he's my best friend. So we're sitting there, and I'm like, all right, we're gonna go to 101 now. I look at him, he looks at me just like telepathy, man. I said, hey, I go, let's do this. Let's take shot 101 and shake hands. He's like, fuck yeah, let's do it. So we pour it and we stand up and everyone's cheering. And I'm like, folks, we made it to the Century Club. We're going to call a truce out of respect. By the way, my boy over there, fuck you, you fucking bitch. You fucking fucked up at 29. Like, we still shat on him even at that moment. We said, we're going to shoot 101 and call it a night, baby. We shot number 101. Right? Now, there was an ongoing joke. I got kidnapped in my fraternity, which is a tradition.
The thing, yeah.
And they made me drink until somebody threw up, whatever. I remember one of my pledge bros who threw up in a grocery bag, and the sound when he threw up and the sound of the liquid hitting the bag was the funniest fucking shit I've ever heard in my life at that time. I'm like, he's like, ugh, and he threw it, and all you hear So the joke was
nasty,
there.
though. That's just nasty.
So I was like, guys, somebody bring me a plastic Lucky's bag. Lucky's was the popular supermarket at the time. I said, give me a Lucky's bag. Make sure there's no holes in it. If there's a hole in it, double bag it. Everybody's like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, I'll show you in a minute. So they bring the bag. I sit there. I'm like, all right, you guys ready? And of course, all the guys I told the story about, they were ready because they wanted to hear that sound. And of course, as soon as boom, I mean, chocolate cake beer, half the fucking bag, half the bag. I was just, the only thing I was worried about is it spilling because I wanted to respect the house, right? I'm like, good, thank you for double bagging this. There's no leaks. We took it out. I spilled it outside, and by far the greatest drinking night I ever had in my life.
Oh, my
and by the way, Jeff, I sobered up like 20 minutes later.
It was beer, right? So yeah. That's we used to pound have this game where you have to pound, like, what do they call it? There's a couple different games. They're like Edward 40 hands. You ever play that?
No, I haven't.
Where they tape the 40s to your hands and someone's got.
Is this shot 5 or 6?
I'm not sure actually. We did a
guys. Is this 5 or 6?
For those at home, no, but we would tape 40s to our hands, and we'd have to drink 2 40s, and then if like whoever basically kept going before you had to take a leak, right? Or we would do this thing where you had to pound a 40 in under 5 minutes, which isn't too hard the first few. But after, and then, oh man, the thing is the one where you can't go to the bathroom, right? So it's like you're putting that much liquid in you, and it's like it's nowhere else to go. Like, what are you supposed to do? So we used to do all those too in Vegas, man. We would do all those things. Forum Club would have been better. but that was that was the chocolate cake and 101 like that's at first I thought you were taking the cold beer as like a chaser in between. That's what I thought you meant, like the cold beer. But yeah, shots of beer 29. Man, obviously I can't do what I used to. I used to be, my God, man. I still could drink pretty well, but back then, oh my God. Like it was, especially taking shots of beer, that would have went. That would have went a while. It's just a matter of until you fill, right? Until you fill up. It's not about even tolerance. It's just like, what can you hold? Is really what it comes down to. 101, Jesus.
It's a mental thing. And I'm not a drinker, Jeff. I don't drink at home. I'm a social guy.
Yeah.
If you call me up, hey Joe, what's up? Yeah. I'm rolling through. What's up? What do you want to do? Hey, let's go to my cousin's restaurant, or let's go over here. Let's have some drinks and some food. When people talk about getting into shape, look, I can set my meals up like the best of them, and I can focus on 6 days a week with the best of them. My vice is my people, and when they want to hang out.
Yeah.
We're not gonna go eat tofu at the fucking restaurant,
Nah,
you know, and have fucking sparkling water or fucking club soda. I want to get real drinks and eat real food and hang out. And I don't need a club. I can go to a club, sure. I don't mind a club, but I like a nice, clean restaurant, maybe a nice, clean bar, and just let's talk some shit and have drinks and have good conversation. That's kind of my thing.
That's definitely my
That's
thing now. That's my thing now for
Yeah.
sure.
And you know, my wife is not she knew who she married. She knows who I am. I have friends since 1988. Guys I talk to pretty much on the daily. We're talking 1988. That's almost 40 years of knowing these guys. And then I have guys that I met 30 years ago that I still talk on the daily. I have guys that I've known 10 years that I talk on the daily. This is the atmosphere that we're in. And even some of those are girls. They're women.
Oh yeah.
Girls I went to junior high with. Girls I went to high school with. Girls that my friends that I became friends with 20 years ago, whom they grew up with those girls. So there's a huge like, I mean, it's a network, whatever you want to call it, of people that I know because to me that's life. To me, I like my people. I like being around my people. I like hanging out. I like calling. Hey, what's up? Throw a text, talk some shit, do whatever. This is life to me. This is what keeps things just good.
Yeah.
And yeah, and that the sports stuff is another huge thing in my life that I always try to tell people who, well, Joe, what do you do, man? How do you you've been married for what now? May 17th is going to be 17 years.
You're married 17 years?
I've been married 17 years in May. Joe, how do you do it,
Coming
man?
out.
And kids, straight A's, kids, respectful. And they see the kids. The kids come to the house. They come to our house. They're very respectful. They don't, there's not a lot of dialogue. See, the thing with my kids is there's a little bit of shyness there. My wife is kind of like that, personality wise, very, very kind of respectful and nice and doing that thing. Me, I was shy maybe when I was growing up, but things kind of changed as I always say there was that moment in 8th grade where I started growing. I grew 6 inches in 3 months. The summer of 7th and 8th grade. And there was a moment there where my parents thought I wasn't going to stop. I surpassed my dad in 8th grade. My dad was 5'7", right? And wasn't a tall guy, obviously, but my dad was a phenomenal athlete, soccer player, basketball player. Like my dad was a kind of a freak actually in athletics, but he was a smaller guy. But I got the build, and it was one of those things where when you start to get tall and big and ripped up, you start to get that confidence. And then high school was fun. We had a lot of good times in high school, and then college. Holy shit! My God, if I had a little bit of what I had now in college, though, my God, I would have ran that campus.
That's what's up.
So that's kind of the progression as I got older. It was like every place I went to got better, and memories got better. And then when you start to make money and you start to have a little bit of stability, then you have the house. Man, you really start to have control. I mean, I'm having my 6th shot on a fucking Monday night.
Monday night.
Okay, folks, this is what freedom looks like. I can get up whenever the fuck I want tomorrow. This is number 6, Intel. Props to you, brother.
Man.
So, to me, what is the most important thing in life? Freedom. Health, actually, I'm sorry. Health. Then freedom. Create the freedom that you want so that you can do what you want, because there's so many people that don't.
Yeah.
And to be able to do the show again. Thank you, Gerald, for inviting me. I never wanted to do a podcast because I always felt like podcasts or anybody can do a podcast. It was a jerk off to me. And I said, nah, I kind of gonna do a podcast. It looks like some guy just get on a fucking mic and just talk about what? What the fuck am I going to talk about? Do a bunch of TED Talks on here, try to tell people how to live their life? Fuck those people. Well, no, Joe, you could talk about sports and this and that. I'm like, yeah, I could talk about sports in my personal life. But then one day, Gerald visits the Laker forum that I talk on, and he's like, hey, guys, what's going on? You know, let's, anybody want to do a podcast? I'm like, huh, maybe I can promote the message board, right? And here we are, talking to Empire Jeff on a Monday night, March 3rd, 2025, about to get my own channel.
Yeah, man.
I just got to make sure I don't get myself in trouble because that's usually what ends up happening, right?
You'll be all right. There's plenty of people who do crazy stuff out here. As long as, I mean, like I said, you'll find a lane and find a rhythm and realize, you know, what you're trying to do. And with so
whoa. Hold on a second. Intel, are you telling me I got to take another 5 shots?
He said if he does another 100, he said, but he like, what's up, Luck?
I don't know if he left. Hold on a second. By the way, I never seen your dog. I only seen him in the thing. Like, let me see the dog.
You've seen him on come here, buddy.
I've seen him in like distances.
Oh, watch. Look at the shirt that I said. It says, "Bitches love me." See? Come here, bud. Come here.
There you go. You're making all the women melt, man.
He's like, it's my guy right here, man. Don't hit the microphone.
Hey, so he's never been a like auditorial problem.
No. He's been a menace. He's taken off with my mic cover. He's taken off with cables. Like he's taken off with he pulled my microphone clear across the back room one time because he got the cable, but that's just him trying to play. But the only one time he ever caused an issue audio wise is when he kind of jumped up like he does right here, and he reached up, pulled the mic down, and he does this what we call the yawn cry when he does like a yawn, but it sounds like yeah, like he did that into like the mic, and I was like, what the hell? And then he snorted like into the mic. It was like a whole like thing. But outside of that, no, he's
because beagles are notorious for being barkers, aren't they?
Yeah, howling, and he doesn't howl. Like he really doesn't. He see, no, he's trying to take the court now. What are you doing? But he's pretty chill. When he gets turned up and wants to run and play, that's when I got a problem. When he's hyper, I'm screwed. Usually my wife like keeps him in check when I'm doing shows. So he's played a little bit, or she'll take him outside. So he comes in here and just walks around. But she's not here right now. But I gotta go get her to bed. That's why I said I couldn't like do the shots. So that's why I was worried. I was like, oh man, what am I gonna find when I get out of here? But I looked and he was balls up on the couch, so we were good. Like he didn't cause any ruckus.
So does your wife know what's coming? She knows that you're gonna be famous soon, right? For
famous? I mean, I don't know about famous, but
we're gonna be famous.
She knows that I like talking sports. So
I'm gonna tell you this. I got some good news on some of the shit that's going on behind the scenes. If that shit really hits here in about a week, that's going to be the beginning of something. And the more resources I have to get ourselves out there, the better it's going to be for everyone. Again, once the channel comes on, it's just going to continue to go that route. Now, what I want to make sure of, is I want to make sure we do this right.
Yeah.
So, Intel, do you want me to do another 5 shots for 100?
Oh shit! What's up, buddy?
State it on your thing, and then I'll know you want it. The thing here, Jeff, is there's only 2 things I've ever wanted to do in my life. Really, like what I do right now, I enjoy. Don't get me wrong. I love my business. I love doing what I do. I love the freedom. I love my life. But there's 2 things that I've wanted to do. One of them I don't have a chance of doing. And that's playing in the NFL. I wanted to play in the NFL for my entire adolescence. It's all I ever wanted to do, but my body didn't let me do it in the end. It is what it is. It's unfortunate, but I look at it as, look, in the end, I'm probably not going to have CTE. My body looks feeling pretty good, and I don't have to deal with that. I guess that's what I tell myself, but it's complete bullshit. I miss, that's my one regret in my life that I didn't do that. Man. The other is I want to be an action star. Now, I just turned 47. And for a while there, I'm like, look, as soon as I hit 40, I'm like, this ain't going to happen. This ain't going to happen. But then I started thinking, I just saw Saul Goodman turn into an action star not too long after that in the movie Nobody. I said, if Saul Goodman, a.k.a. Bob Odenkirk, can do it, I can fucking do it at 47.
Great show.
Okay. Beyond. And, okay, Intel, I'm going to do... shit. All right. Fuck. when y'all think I'm cracking on Gerald, you know I'm doing this for Gerald because it's still his show. All right, Intel, I'm going to do 5 more shots in 15 minutes. Fuck.
It's going to be 11 shots in 20, 25 minute span.
Yeah. All right, 1 out of 5.
Out of the bullet. Oh, he just dropped it. There it is.
He knows I do it. I've always do it. Okay. So the key here is we live in unprecedented times. We have the opportunity to produce our own shit. And I always said that the issue with not getting into radio originally was because I knew I wouldn't mix well with the producers of radio shows. Radio producers are much like supers in rotted out apartment complexes. So I don't know necessarily if I mesh well with people who are losers in high positions. Middle management, I call them. Middle management. I don't do well with middle management. Most middle management people are clueless, they're weak, and they live shitty lives. All things that I am not. So I'm not going to take orders from some nitwit who knows nothing that I know. I'm a boss. Not in the sense of bragging that I'm the boss. Has nothing to do with that. I'm the boss in terms of controlling the quality and the efficiency of what needs to get done. That's it. I don't give a shit about credit. You all know this. I've been talking about that the last week. I'm a cash guy. I don't need credit. Give me the cash. You can keep the credit. I don't need it. I don't need credit. I hate compliments. I hate giving them and I hate taking them. I'm here to chew bubble gum and kick ass. God rest Roddy Piper's soul. That is a great line that I've never forgotten, and I always use it as much as I can to give him props. Oh boy, here comes the Black Olive stuff. 6-game wins. You guys don't forget shit, man. Seriously. But I already told Lakers Ball that I was going to do the Black Olive thing. I got to find out how many olives they want me to eat. Jeff, that's my kryptonite. Black olives. I can eat green olives. It's a little bit of a struggle, but I can handle it. Black olives, death. I might as well eat tar from the fucking street. So I got to figure out what the hell I'm going to do. Aaron, my man, Aaron. I missed Aaron, but just so you know, Aaron, I missed you last week because my boy Jeff has to be there this week. I mean, he doesn't have to be there, but I want him to be there. So I am going to be there Thursday afternoon, and I'm thinking about going to the game on Friday. It might be Friday or Saturday, one of those days. So that's the plan. And by the way, Jeff, I don't know, did you get it? Did they televise the second game yesterday?
I don't think they did the second game.
They didn't. Mm-mm. So, folks, just so you know, I live up to my word. I've seen every spring training game that was televised. And I'm going to see all 162. And I'm going to obviously see. So, this has never happened. It's never happened. I've never seen all spring training games, and I've never seen all 162. This year has to be the unprecedented viewership, unprecedented job. Oh shit! I gotta get to my second one here. I'm gonna throw some questions here at you, Jeff. Are you all right? You're not getting tired?
No, I'm not tired. I gotta head out in a few though.
Okay. So Jeff's got to head out here. So we're gonna. Jeff brought out his, because this is a Lakers show, obviously, but I wanted to. It's still the Nightcap. We talk about everything here, but So Jeff, let's kind of go with what's going to happen here in the next month or so.
It's gonna be a tough stretch, but
It's going to be a tough stretch. But I thought this last week was a tough stretch.
I think this team is equipped. So I think, the funny thing is I think we may start to see the best of Luka as we get into this stretch, which I think is really going to help. I think we're maybe a week or two away from him averaging 30 a game. And the defense is the reason. Right? The defense is the reason. It's a lot of honey. That's a lot of honey, Jack Honey. The defense is what has me most confident here, because a night where maybe some of those shots aren't falling, the defense can keep the score down to where they do start to fall maybe late, that the Lakers can get on a roll. I think this next 3 weeks could potentially lead to LeBron winning MVP. If the Lakers body this 3 week, the Lakers come out of this, I don't think they have a chance in hell of catching OKC. But if they can keep a stranglehold on the second or third seed, then I would consider, obviously, to be a successful regular season. So going down this stretch, Luka doing his thing. You all right there? You doing? You're making those faces. You doing more? Oh
Fuck.
Man!
I got number 3. I got number 3 coming. Go ahead. Yeah. Keep doing your thing.
I think the more that the Lakers continue to get in sync, the more that this defense continues to settle, the more that Luka gets settled in, the more LeBron is able to kind of keep it going. I like where this team is heading. I like the way the coaching staff is putting things together. I like the strategy. I like the way that they're able to knock down the teams they've had problems with. The only real stain on this kind of run they got going right now is that Charlotte loss. And, shit. I mean, the Lakers were losing to Charlotte during the 3-peat days. There's just something about the Charlotte Hornets, or then it was the Charlotte Bobcats, that always gave the Lakers fits. But outside of that, I see people in the chat talking about the Kyrie injury. That was terrible. Dallas is having one of those seasons, man, where it just can't get right. They're just kind of cursed, kind of going through it. Entire Wild, I appreciate you, man. Salute to you. I would have happily taken these shots with Joe, but I gotta go pick up wifey, and out here in these streets where I'm at, drinking and driving, you just asking for it. So, the Kyrie situation sucks.
In this business, baby.
Yeah. But don't get it twisted. I'll have my nights. Where
no. It's all right. I got you.
The night we won the World Series, I think I took down 2 bottles of champagne. We were rocking there. I had a night with Chris. I don't know. Sometimes was Chris in the chat tonight. I hadn't been paying heavy attention to the chat.
Chris from something.
Chris, the art director, Chris. Me and him did a show where I had him on mine, and we were just knocking him back one night, just getting litty. But that's usually my Sunday nights. My Sunday nights, man, when I get home and it's rip and run. The Kyrie injury is terrible. Obviously, the city of Dallas, I don't know what they got going on there. They trade Luka. They're on the verge. They're raising their season ticket prices. They just lose Kyrie after losing Lively, after losing Gafford. That team is going through a stretch right now where even in our darkest moments over the last year and a half to 2 years, as frustrated as we were and has been, think about this. We could have been dealing with this. With the Dallas, shout out to my guys over at We Talk Mavs, man. They're going through it. This sucks for a team that just went to the NBA Finals, for a team that the fan base, they had a good base behind them, man. They got some loyal fans over there, great content creators too, and they just completely blew this up and made that messy. And what happened to Kyrie was kind of like just, I don't know what you call it, the final, just the straw that broke the camel's back, or the final blow, the final whatever it was. The team in Phoenix looking back, that they're kind of like, oh, maybe we can get it to 10 now, because Dallas is done. Dallas is done. From that injury, it looks like, from what I saw, very minimum hyperextended knee, possibly a bone bruise. And I think no matter what, I think Kyrie's out for the year. And it's sad. And if it's a torn ACL, he's out longer than that. And we're at a point in the year where we're here in March. If he tore his ACL, we're looking at he could be out the rest of this year and all of next year. And obviously, I'm hoping against that, praying against that for Kyrie, because I like watching Kyrie hoop. I like watching him play. I hate to see anyone go down and with an injury like that. But I feel really bad for what the Mavs fan base is going through. So it kind of just makes us kind of realize that what we were going through, it was rough because we set the bar high, the standards high for being fans of the Los Angeles Lakers, but we weren't in as bad a position as we thought because our team was working on something and in the background, and it turned out it worked out for us. And so far right now, and what they're going to do right now sucks. But back to Joe's original question. I think because of these moves the Lakers have made, because of that DFS move, because of the Luka move, because of the way this defense is playing, because the way LeBron is playing, because Austin Reeves has taken his game to the next level, because Rui Hachimura has turned himself into a guy who impacts winning, because Jared Vanderbilt is being used more in the dunker spot than the corner 3 spot and leveraging that to help the Lakers win basketball games. All of these things lead to W's in the win column and the right side of the standings, which right now have the Lakers at the number 2 seed in the Western Conference, Joe. So I think this next 3 weeks determines where we finish the season. I bought you some time there.
I think the last time I hit double digits in shots was my 30th birthday.
Oh, it's Lakers Celtics on Saturday, right? So, but you're gonna be in Arizona. I gotta try to get.
Dude, you got to get the AZ, dude. You got to get the AZ, dude.
You're there from Thursday to what?
Thursday through Sunday.
Through Sunday, okay.
I'm lucky because Camelback is literally 10 minutes from my family's house.
Gotcha. You're about to be running through the house like Tasmanian devil in like 30 minutes.
And that's the great thing, man. I get stronger when I drink. I'm New Year's Day, New Year's night. I remember one of my wife's friends is a little bit more kind of cornbread. I called her cornbread, a little more stronger than the normal chick, right? Because most of the crew that my wife is hanging out with is dainty, typical chicks, right? So she was the one chick, and she's always my favorite. I go, she was the one that smokes cigars and does like kind of dude shit, right? So we had a contest for push-ups. It did like fucking 200 push-ups. By the way, if I'm not fucked up, I can't do 10 push-ups. I did fucking 200 push-ups that night. I woke up the next night. I was so fucking dead sore. I couldn't move my arms. I was like, fuck. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I can't move my arms. But the thing is with me is when I'm fucked up, I don't feel pain. If I don't feel pain, I can do anything. But thank God I took my dad's genes. I saw my dad, God rest his soul. I saw my dad drunk twice in my life. My dad hardly ever drank. But when I did, he was the funniest human being I've ever met in my life. And luckily I took that. Because Jeff, you haven't seen me yet. You'll probably get hopefully you get a chance to see me this weekend. I don't need to do much to kind of fuck up a room. I just kind of walk in and I fuck up the room a little bit. But I'm probably thinking about nice things at the time, but that's just kind of the perception. But when I'm jacked up, I'm a happy guy. Thank God. And I like to do fun stuff when I'm fucked up. So people get a kick out of it. And of course, my friends, I remember my 30th birthday when I drank, what was it? I drank 15 shots of a combination of, what was it? Silver Patron and Grey Goose.
Silver Patron, so the double clear.
Silver Patron and Grey Goose. And I remember my sister got so pissed off at my friend Brian for just feeding me drinks that night. I remember I kind of got up. This is before I finally calmed down. I said, you fucking people, you didn't fucking pay for a fucking dime of shots. He's paying for everything. That night, much like the chocolate cake night, for some coincidence, again, that's why I always say somebody's always watching and helping me out here. For some reason that night, when we went to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, I ate like half the fucking cow that night. I don't do that.
Well, when you drunk like that, you get hungry.
I'm simple. Like I have the steak. I had the petite filet mignon. I had a little bit of lobster tail shit.
Lobster tail shit.
Breads and fucking whatever. And I'm like, all right, cool. But for some reason that night, I ate the filet. I ate the fucking lobster tail. I ate the breads and the butter. I ate the cocktail fucking shrimp. I drank sodas and I drank a drink and I did this and I did that. And I even ate half the fucking steak my wife was eating. I ate so much that night. I was fucked up from the food for like 3 hours. You know how when you eat too much, you're like, fuck, man, I ate too much. That usually lasts 20, 30 minutes. My shit lasted 3 hours.
Oh, yeah.
If I hadn't done that, there's no fucking way I would have been able to walk away that night. I was fucking gone.
I'm a eater, especially when I drink. Like I'm a eater. You know what I mean? So it's that's why I'll never be skinny. Never be skinny in my life. like
Well, here's the thing, Jeff. I'm going to tell you right now. Despite what you've seen tonight, you're going to be seeing something probably by the end of the year, a little different than what you see here. So be ready.
Sure.
Intel, thank you for the $200 super chat. This is number 5. I think it might have been 16 minutes. I don't know if it was 15 minutes, but there you go.
Well, man, yeah, I'll definitely do this. I'll definitely drink with you on the show coming up. But like post 10 p.m. show on a Monday when I gotta go pick someone up real quick. That's not gonna.
Oh, you gotta go right now.
Yeah, I gotta get out real quick.
All right. So everyone, thank you, Jeff, for being here tonight. Get used to this, by the way. This is gonna be the norm, even with the purple light, blue light. Purple light.
I can switch them in show and switch hoodies, switch hats.
It's gonna be a lot of that, and we're gonna represent. This is gonna be LA City, baby. LA is going to own sports here for the next 6 to 7 months, 8 months, 9 months, and we're gonna be here for it. Thanks for being here, Jeff.
No doubt.
Take care of the woman. Take care of your woman. Take care of your dog. Take care of your family. We'll go ahead and make sure we're set for the next one here.
Yeah. I'll be talking to you tomorrow for sure. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you having me, Joe. And catch you guys on the next one, man.
Have a good night, brother.
You too, man. Appreciate you.
Take care, man.